Hi, in this video I'll compare SAP's migration tool with the Figaf migration tool and see what kind of differences it is. I have 4 scenarios that I want to cover in this, and we'll see how well the systems behave. I've not tried this before on any of the 2 platforms, so let's see how it goes. The first one we have here is a normal scenario, and if we find it here, we can see this one. It is just one with one receiver. We have some parameters here on the mapping, but otherwise it should be pretty simple. So let's try this to find this one. So we'll first do it, select. So we'll go here to the Figaf. We'll create a new package for it. We will add it. We will select migrate. We will select our PI system here. Connect. Next step, let's find it. So we'll search just for D, send a component. And then we have the first one up here. We select next. And now we can select one of the different parameters for it. Let's just select number 5. See if that goes. SAP 1. Let's try with that naming range. Review, migrate. Obviously, you should probably go in and understand what are the different of these scenarios that you have when you're using this. So this is one that's sent it in via the GMS and process it. Let's check if the mapping here is correct. It has a message mapping, it's a static one. And let's check the mapping here. It has everything configured. Let me just check the mapping. There is purchase up parameter. So mapping seems to be working. Let's see if we have a document here, just a sec. And when we process this, it seems like it is creating a correct XML format for this scenario. So this seems to be working correctly. I think we have not connected this data source internally with the parameters. So let's go back to the package. This we will need to configure this source address, etc. if we wanted to run this. For now, let's just keep it without deploying. We will need to cancel here, and then we can do here in the Figaf tool, we can select here link flow, and we need to just synchronize it first so we also get the data in the Figaf tool. This is ES partner and a specific package, which is then so now we can select it, and we can see we have it here. Now let's try with the Figaf tool. So let's call it here. Figaf. We can check it. What parameters we can set up the flow for these ones. We get some check information here we need to perform. We got a preview. We can see what it is actually creating. And we got a migrate. That licenses and check it out. So it is locked here, so we need to go back to the package here, unlock it, and then we can migrate it. So now we have a flow here. Looks much the same. SAP in their flow have obviously added the capability to handle these parameters. I have set in here parameter for the message mapping and use those in the message mapping. Then for the next one, this is, go back to here. here we have one with splits that splits the same message into two separate integrations. So let's try that one. We first start in the SAP one. Do it here, edit. Oh, should obviously have the other one. So now there's two iFlows. We select edit, we migrate, and this time we will set this, connect, next, show filters, split. See if this will work here, split receiver. So this does not have any migration template. SAP P1 and 2. No receivers. And we can just click migrate here. Cancel the edit here. And we open the iFlow. And we can see nothing really here. We can save as a version and deploy, but yeah, nothing has been set up for this because we could not find the template. And if we look at the resources, we do have the message mapping in that has been configured, so they have mapped this data, but they have not done anything with it, so you need to add this yourself. Okay, let's try this, the splitter here. So we'll link this together with, oh, we didn't synchronize, let's just skip that. So we will call this SAP2 Figaf. Select the package. Check. Here we got two receivers that's being mapped, and we can preview it. It is a scenario that is splitting. We can select migrate, new license. Click migrate. And let's check this iFlow that's being created in the background. Here we can see that it splits out the message. I think we have, if we look at the external resources, we can see that they have used two different parameters when configuring this, and these are then set up in these two scenarios. We have something here in the SOAP that is not configured correctly. Some credentials that we did not get when setting up this. We can obviously define that and try running these scenarios. Let's try that. So let's, I think I do have ERP user deploy. Oh, save as version, deploy, and then let me see once this deploys. Okay, so it fails with some deployment error here because we have not set up the configuration here. So one thing we obviously have a problem in here is the FTP channel. We are using just a normal HTTP expression, but that does somehow not translate our directory, which does not really work on FTPS services. So for now, let's just, well, let's try it here. We can, what we'll normally do is we'll go back here, we'll press synchronize, which will synchronize this package. Synchronization finished. We can then take this iFlow we have here, we can migrate our test case. I've created some test cases before, migrate it, add it to a new test suite. It knows where to find these specific messages. And I can then select this and run it. The license for it. If you have the migration edition, the running should be, or is not licensed, so you can just run it as much as you like. And what will now happen is it will view result here. It will create a new version of this one in a mocked scenario where we can trigger the message. and then we'll wait until the iFlow has been started. So now the iFlow has been started. We are getting some errors on this. We can obviously check what is going on and where it has been processing messages. There's something on the SOAP channel. Let's see if we are actually able to fetch the data. It's a skipped here. We're actually able to compare the result here. We can see that there's a date that is different. That's fine. We just select update and process comparison again. Now we're good. So with the Figaf, we could of this migrate this scenario. Obviously, we do need to create some more scenarios around it. Okay. So the next one I wanted to have is this mapping 3, and mapping 3 is just a mapping where I have 3 different mappings inside of the same flow. And let's try that with the SAP one. So we will create edit, migrate, new scenario. Let's reconnect, edit, migrate, connect, and we will select the one here that says mapping. See if we find the one that says mapping 3 here. It is the same mapping that's just been duplicated 3 times. We don't get any templates for this. SAP 3, review, migrate. And let's open it. Oh, we need to cancel here. So if we look at the data we have here, we have the resources. We have the 3 mappings that has been converted. They're using the same XSLT, but we would need to add them manually. I think if there was only 2, it would be able to handle these things. So let's go back here, cancel this. And now let's try with the Figaf tool, the mapping 3 here scenario here. Same package. SAP Figaf 3. Let's check what we have here. It just gives us the same warnings, errors, and if we select migrate, it will give us migrate. And well, forgot the preview. So here we can see it has 3 mappings. It actually has parameter changes for each of the different ones. I think in this scenario they're probably identical, but that just means that the flow are able to handle multiple different parameters for each of the different mappings that I used here. And we can see that the mappings here are set up correctly. It has mapping 2 here, all identical, no change there. So if you have something that does not follow into these parameters where you have 1 mapping, 2 mappings, but 3 mappings, it would not work unless with the Figaf tool. Then you need to add these attributes yourself. Okay, so the next one, here we need to add a function library to the mapping. So let's migrate. We will select here. We will, I think it was also called map. What was it called? It was called the mapping function. Mapping function. We get one of the different async one. We can select them, and you probably will be able to understand the different ones and what you can actually do with these. We'll create a review. object this is. We don't get information about why this did not migrate selected. We can try again. I think if we looked at report, we'll probably see that this is using a function library. So let's try cancel here. Is it because that something was missing here? So SAP for, let's just try again. Go here, select it. Same package. Figaf 4. Check. We can see here it used a container variable. Please fix it manually. We can preview. Not much different than the other one scenarios. We can, if we select migrate, we will need to migrate this. And license migrate. And here, if we look at this function library, it's the same one, a function. We can see our mapping with function. We have here a parameter that's called add0. We can read the script for this. And here in the Figaf tool, we have added the script in as a scenario that is used here. And we are using up this one here, I think, add0. And then it complains here that we are using this container variable. That was one of the warnings we got down here. Container is used, and that's because container does not exist in this script, so you would need to re-change this to contexts and figure out how to deal with it. So if I try to run this, I would imagine that it would not work, but we can try. Upload completed. Let's test. Oh. Testing in progress. Yeah, we get some warning here. It would be nice as we have in the PI, we can see what is actually going on, and probably that is just this mapping function here. We're not in edit mode, so let me just try to go to edit mode. So let's try here, externalize resources. We have here, it's the script one. We will just delete this one. It is no longer, it's not used in this scenario. Or we can uncomment it or whatever. To do that in the Figaf tool, you need to go back here, you need to synchronize so we know what are the different items that we have for this specific scenario. Linking object finished, and now we can try to mapping functions. We can migrate the test cases. We can migrate here, migrate the flow, add to existing test suites. We know where to run this or fetch this message. Let's see how it works. Testing result, run. So now the test has been processed. It took a little longer, I'm not sure what happened. I just pressed deploy one extra time. Here we can see that we still have these items up here that we just need to ignore. And we can compare it again. So somehow it did not work here. Maybe this was just some temporary glitch. So I just wanted to check here if this works or not. Simulate. Yesterday. So the system somehow performed really slow. Let's see. Yes, so now this also works, and we can see it is able to add 3 zeros to the seller name, which is what this add0 function does. So I hope you saw some of the capabilities of the tool and what it is able to do. I hope you like this video and want to try it out. You can go to Figaf/Migration Edition and sign up for our 1-year version of the tool that allow you to test and manage your projects, and where you can also try this migration edition and try migrating some of the different iFlows with both the SAP and the Figaf, and then see if that would not reduce the effort for your migration project. So go check that out. Thank you.